Let's talk Jimmy. Okay, Jimmy Garoppolo. I've had him in the good set. Well, I had him in the not so good day one, but the last 2 days I've had him in the good section. And the only reason I put him in the not so good section day one is because he missed a deep throw. He was still like 7 for 9 that day. I think he's completing about 70% of his passes in camp. And since he missed the deep throw day one, he's hit the 2 deep throws since then, day 2 and day 3. So he's improving. That's good. You want to see improvement in camp. He doesn't have to be locked in day 1. The other thing I want to see from him is velocity, because there's 2 different things: throwing far and throwing hard. CJ Beathard can throw far. He cannot throw hard. CJ Beathard can launch it, but he can't spin it. Different thing. Jimmy Garoppolo can't really launch it. He can launch it 50 yards, 55, but before he tore his ACL, he could really spin it. He would really fire those passes 15, 20 yards on a line, down the field, to the sideline, especially when he was in New England. Last year, I thought he was floating the ball, throwing a lot of short stuff. I've talked to you about this, taking his lower body out of the throw. I compare it to Nick Mullins. When I watch Nick Mullins throw, another guy doesn't have the strongest arm, but you can see him grunting when he throws. You can almost hear him grunting. He puts everything into his throws. Jimmy, he's like a second baseman. There's no grunt. It's a very precious throwing motion, which is fine. But when you're throwing the 15-yard out across the field from the far hash, you kind of need to muscle up and grunt and put everything on it. And he doesn't do that when he physically can. In one-on-one drills, you see him spin it like he used to. But when he has a pass rush around him, it seems like he doesn't want to expose his legs, step in, potentially get hurt like Tom Brady did. So instead of firing the ball to the sideline, he throws with a lot of anticipation, lets it go before the wide receiver makes his break, and the ball floats and dies. But since he threw it so early, it gets there on time. Still effective, not exactly what you want, and it explains why Shanahan doesn't call that pass very much for Jimmy Garoppolo. But he has made strides with the deep ball, which is the most important thing. I mean, they can win a Super Bowl throwing mostly over the middle and short and deep. You don't have to throw 15-yard outs all the time. I mean, if he could do that, then he'd be John Elway. He'd have no weaknesses. But the reason I'm looking for it is he used to be able to do it. It used to be part of his game. It hasn't come back yet, but you can see it when he does one-on-one. So it's like, okay, there's no physical issue with your knee or your arm. You can do it. It's clearly a mental thing when you're in a pocket surrounded by other football players. So how long is it going to take for you to break that? I noticed with Jimmy Garoppolo, before he tore his ACL, he never really dealt with a severe long-term injury. He had a shoulder injury in New England, but he was a backup then anyway. He never really had to go through a grueling rehab. Sometimes players are all different. Some of them get over that mental hurdle quick. Some of them get over that mental hurdle quicker than others. Maybe they have more experience getting hurt. They know what to expect. Jimmy never really went through this before, and to me, it's taken him a little while. He'll get there eventually, maybe.